Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the long weekend. Hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. We're here for our third pillar principle, which is take ownership, which we define as always demonstrate accountability and take personal responsibility for making things happen. It's never someone else's job or someone else's fault. Be resourceful and show initiative. Respond to situations by looking for how we can do it rather than explaining why it can't be done. If you see it, own it, and make sure it gets done. Don't make excuses. A couple words really stick out to me when I think about this concept. First being resourceful. I think when you're resourceful, it's a lot easier to take ownership, because if you're not resourceful and you don't think you can solve problems or help people, you'd rather pass that along to somebody else and not take ownership of it. So one thing that I find really helpful is if you replace the word should with the word could. And let me give you an example. If somebody comes to you with an issue or a question, a problem, and you say, geez, what should I do in this situation? The word should is very limiting, and it says, let's see, I could do one of three things to solve the problem. But if you replace that word should with could, what could I do in this situation? It really opens up the possibilities of solutions. It's almost unlimited. And so you become much more creative when you're faced with problems and questions. And so by saying, what could I do instead of what should I do, you're going to be more resourceful, which in turn, you're going to be able to help more people, and you'll be able to take greater ownership of situations. So think about that concept of just should versus could. The other thing I think about when I think about taking ownership is I used to struggle with our board of directors, and I used to have in my mind that they didn't care what I was doing, they weren't engaged with what I was doing, and it really bothered me. And it was always their problem. It was their fault. And until I used to have monthly meetings with a CEO coach, and it used to just drive me nuts. But every time I would talk to him about this issue, and frankly any other issue, his favorite thing to say to me is, what is your part in it? And I used to think, it's their problem, it's not mine. They're the ones not paying attention, they're the ones not engaged. And I sat in that mindset for a long time, and until I really understood and took ownership and said, you know what, I'm the chairman of the board, meaning I'm the leader of the board, and if there's an issue and a problem, I need to take ownership of it. And once I got that through my thick head, that there was a part of it that was me, and once I understood that and started to change the way I thought about that situation, I will tell you that my relationship with the board changed significantly. It really transformed my relationship there. And so once I started to look at things as, what is my part in it, instead of thinking, geez, they're the problem. And I use that concept a lot with my wife, my kids, here at work. I use that all the time is, what is your part in it? And when you start to think about that, there's a level of ownership to it. And I think your situations will get better. And then the final thing is what I'd ask, like to finish these things with asking questions, I guess, but to help each other with this concept, right? And one way that you can do that, and I work on this, I'm not great at it, but I try, is when somebody comes to you with a question, just simply ask back, what do you think we should do and why? And that kind of forces that person to take more ownership of the situation. And so we can really help each other. And so I guess I ask you to practice that when somebody comes to you with a question, not that you can't help them, but start with that. What do you think? And what do you think we should do and why? And I think that will help us all get better at this concept of taking ownership. Thanks, and have a good day.